What was your reaction to the sentencing today of Allison Mack?
I mean, initially I was pretty shocked because this has taken years and it was sort of surreal that it actually happened so quickly. I was expecting to, be waiting anxiously, pacing around my mom's house all day long, and it happened within a matter of hours. And so that was shocking. And I'm still kind of like processing it all, to be honest.
Yeah. Have you had a chance to talk to your mom about it?
Yes, I have. And we're both actually really, like, pleased is not the right word, but validated by the decision. And we both have a lot of trust in this judge, and he is very wise, and he has set an incredible standard by giving Keith Raniere 120 years in prison, and that's his scale. Ultimately, in my mind, this is all because of the wrongdoings that Keith Raniere has done.
Yeah.
And so Allison's punishment is an effect of that, and her choices too. And so I think that it's setting a standard that really abuse is not going to be tolerated, and it is not going to be allowed. And that really feels good to me.
Today, Allison put out a statement apologizing. Do you accept that apology?
I do. I don't have any reason to not accept her apology. Ultimately, the apology is for her and her own well-being moving forward and whatever she needs to resolve in herself. It does not change the past for me. It really just informs me about her and where she's at in her own healing process. It made me feel safer to know that she has renounced herself of Keith Raniere and she doesn't believe him anymore. So that I actually thought was a huge victory in her own healing and for her future.
What do you think is next for her? And what message would you send to Allison today?
I just don't know exactly where she is at in her own healing journey, but I do know that it takes an enormous amount of bravery and the ability to admit that you're wrong and that you were fooled and that you hurt other people. That's very hard. And so I know that that was a really challenging part for me to accept everything that I had participated in, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And so I think for her, it's going to be a hard journey to regain her empathy and her ability to be a human being in society.
What would you say to her today if you could speak to her?
It feels really simple, but I just wish her well, because I don't have any interest in having any kind of relationship with her at all in my life, but I don't wish her any ill will. It's not necessary. I don't need to do that. I'm moving on, and I certainly hope that she does.
You mentioned that she has now kind of admitted and come to the hard realization that she played a part in this, but do you think she was also a victim in any way?
I do. I think she was absolutely a victim of Keith Raniere, and I really do think that the judge acknowledged that as well in her sentencing. I mean, look at the difference between what Keith Raniere was sentenced and what she was sentenced. It's very clear to me that they're on a very different, although similar crimes.
Yeah, and Keith had zero remorse when he was sentenced. He basically was like, I did what I did.
He basically called us all liars. So it was like, that is a human being that is unsafe to be in society, and that is why he is where he is. He is someone that was able to rehabilitate himself, and I do believe, and I really did pray that Allison would be able to do that for herself, irrespective if I ever was going to relate with her again. I hoped that she would find herself again.
Do you feel like today wraps up this chapter in your life?
I do. I feel like this was an enormous amount of closure for me, and I'm really ready to move on from NXIVM. And I mean, I'll continue to do my work and my activism and things that I think are important for people to know and to be aware of. But I am very much ready to put NXIVM behind me.
Do you think this could be turned into a movie one day?
I mean, if anyone's interested in watching, maybe, but it has been a wild ride and a very strange journey, and maybe it could be a film. But I don't know if that's the best way for people to understand and to become aware and to be educated. So I think that there's a lot of different ways that we could use this information to teach people, to inform the people who might not know about these types of predators and groups.